This past weekend, I was at my parents' house looking through my dad's stockpile of tabletop minis and terrain. I was preparing for a big personal project and I wanted to borrow some key elements that I was missing. In the hour or so of perusing his collection, he and I got to chatting and searching through his old modules and maps. I didn't realize it when I was younger, but he has a treasure trove of D&D history. As I was eyeballing some of the minis that are older than I am, my dad was digging through a part of his bookshelf that he hadn't touched in decades. And that's when he found it. The 1981 Dungeons & Dragons Basic Rulebook. My dad bought this book as a young teenager. It's yellowed, missing its cover, and some of the illustrations were colored in with colored pencil. It's definitely not mint condition, but honestly, I think it's cooler that way. So cool that I wanted to learn about this edition and what it meant for players like my dad. The story really starts with Dungeons & Dragons, published by Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson in 1974. This original version, often called OD&D, was revolutionary, but also pretty nebulous. Rules were laid out in 3 digest-style booklets, and compared to today's handbooks, left large gaps open for interpretation. Classes, races, combat, and magic existed, but often only in outline form. To expand the system, TSR Hobbies, the original publisher, released supplements like Greyhawk in 1975, adding complexity and mechanical depth. But by the mid-1970s, it was obvious that D&D needed to adapt to a growing audience.
Victory is yours.
Before the 1981 Moldvay edition, there was J. Eric Holmes. His 1977 Basic D&D was designed to clean up and explain OD&D and Greyhawk to a younger group of players. The goal was simple: make D&D easy to learn. Holmes expected players to graduate to either OD&D or the newly emerging Advanced D&D. Basic Dungeons & Dragons was supposed to be a first step into the system, not a destination. But that's not what happened. Holmes Basic D&D sold extremely well. By 1979, TSR realized they had a massive audience that wasn't moving on to AD&D, but instead of pushing those players into the more advanced part of the system, TSR chose to meet them where they were. So they did 2 things. They created a continuation past level 3, and they revised the basic set itself. Released in early 1981, Moldvay's Basic D&D wasn't aligned with AD&D at all. In fact, it moved further away from it. This version was aggressively simplified. Race and class were merged. Elves, dwarves, and halflings became full classes. Complex multiclassing vanished. Alignment was cleaned up, spell lists were tightened, and layout and organization dramatically improved. The result? 7 approachable, learnable classes: cleric, fighter, magic user, thief, dwarf, elf, and halfling. The 1981 basic set didn't just include the rulebook. It shipped as a boxed product containing the 64-page rulebook with a bold red border and cover art by Errol Otis, a set of polyhedral dice, a wax crayon, and the introductory adventure B2, the Keep on the Borderlands. Because Keep on the Borderlands shipped inside the box at the height of the D&D boom, it became the gateway adventure for an entire generation. It's widely regarded as the most printed RPG module of all time, with estimates exceeding 1 million distributed copies. Moldvay's basic set launched in close succession with the new Expert set, edited by Dave Cook and Steve Marsh. Together, Basic and Expert covered levels 1 through 14. This created something new, a complete D&D experience that never touched AD&D at all. Moldvay's Basic D&D didn't just revise a rulebook. It defined the entire lineage of the game, a storytelling tool focused on clarity, approachability, and fast play. Just 2 years later, Frank Mentzer would replace it with a new edition, Basic, Expert, Companion, Masters, Immortals, or BECMI. But the foundation was already set. For millions of players like my dad, Moldvay's 1981 edition was Dungeons and Dragons. I found a lot more amazing tabletop history, so if you're a nerd like me, stick around and we can nerd out together. See y'all next time.